Hi folks, if you missed where we're at, we established the fact of Jesus' resurrection on Easter Sunday, the evidence, the grounds of our faith. And we're now looking at the implications of the resurrection. We saw yesterday one implication for our friends, and then there's this wonderful thing, the very next verse, the very next chapter in John chapter 21. And I'd encourage you to read the whole chapter in your own time. But in John chapter 21, the risen Jesus meets a bunch of his disciples. They have a meal together. And here we see Peter reinstated. Remember Peter? He disowned Jesus 3 times. He denied that he knew Jesus 3 times. He was one of the boldest, most outspoken disciples, and yet he got it totally wrong. He was afraid, and he denied Jesus 3 times. But wonderfully, in John chapter 21, Jesus restores him. Jesus has forgiven him his sins, and Jesus restores him. And it's lovely the way Jesus does it. He says to Simon Peter, as he's called, "Do you love me?" And he asks him that question 3 times. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And of course, each time Peter says to him, "Of course, you know that I love you." And Jesus says, "Feed my lambs. Take care of my sheep. Feed my sheep." And in that moment, Jesus reminds Peter of his past weakness and sin, yet reminds Peter that the relationship has been restored, and also gives him the work that he's got to do. I'd really encourage you to read the early chapters of the book of Acts, see Peter's story as it unfolds, and read 1 and 2 Peter, those letters that Peter wrote. It's amazing what Jesus did through that man, and how he shepherded him, forgave him, and restored him to his service.